चतुर्भिः श्रीकण्ठैः शिवयुवतिभिः पञ्चभिरपि प्रभिन्नाभिः शम्भोर्नवभिरपि मूलप्रकृतिभिः चतुश्चत्वारिंशद्वसुदलकलाश्रत्रिवलया त्रिरेखाभिः सार्धं तव चरणकोणाः परिणताः.
Beautiful, ma. Beautiful. Okay, so Chaturbhi Shrikantaihi Shiva Yuvatibhif Panchabhirapi Prabhinnabhishambhoho Navabhirapi Mula Prakritibihi Chatushchatvarimshad Vasudala Kalashratribalaya Trirekabhisardham Tava Sharanakonaf Parinataha. So, last till the 10th shloka, 9 and 10 we saw, 9 and 10th verse we saw last week was primarily about the Kundalini, the rising of the Kundalini. 11th, Bhagavan Adi Shankara is introducing the Sri Chakra. So, those who have seen the Sri Chakra, he is describing that whole Sri Chakra in one particular verse, just in one verse. So, the Sri Chakra has 9 avarnas. It's called Navavarna. 9 layers the Sri Chakra has. And he is describing those, the 9 are formed in a certain way, in a particular fashion. See, there are different chakras that are available. Chakras are circular disc-like formations. Usually, the geometric patterns are circles and lines. They use either circles and lines. And there's Ganapati Yantra, or there is Ganapati Yantra Chakra, there is Subramanya, there is Vishnu Yantra or Vishnu Chakra. So like that, there are different. But this is Sri Chakra. What he is describing here is Sri Chakra because it represents Adi Parashakti. And the way it is constructed is, it starts with Trirekhabhihi. So it starts with he is going from inside out. The way Adi Shankara has described it is inside out. Now let me take it from outside in, and then we will look at both ways. Trirekabhisardham, Trirekha, there are 3 lines on the outside. And then there is Trivalaya, there are 3 circles. So from the outside, if you see, there are 3 lines and 3 circles. And then you have Vasudala Kalashra. There are Vasudala, which means there are 16 petals and 8 petals. Kalashra are 16 petals. Vasudala are 8 petals. And then inside you have 44 triangles. Actually 43. The innermost triangle is the 44th triangle. So there are 44 triangles inside this enclosure. So what is the enclosure? The lines on the outside, it's like a rectangle. 3 lines, 3 circles, 16 petals, 16 petal lotus or 16 petals, 8 petals, and then the triangles. Okay. And then inside the innermost triangle, there is the Bindu. Okay. So he's explaining this whole thing. He's saying, and in this, the 44 triangles I spoke about, Chatushchatvarimshad. Chatushchatvarimshad is 44. These 44 triangles are formed how? They are formed by Chaturbhi Shrikantaihi Shiva Yuvatibhif Panchabhirapi. 4 Shiva triangles and 5 Shakti triangles. So if you look at the whole Sri Chakra, there are 4 Shiva triangles that will combine, enjoin with 5 Shakti triangles. Total, there are 9 avarnas and it forms 44 triangles. So if you count small triangles, it will turn up to be 44. And in the center, you have the Bindu. So he's saying Chaturbhihi, Shri Kantaihi, 4 Shiva chakras, Shiva Yuvatibhi, Panchabhirapi, 5 Shakti chakras, Prabhinnabhis Shambhoho, Navabhirapi. These chakras are separate from the Bindu. Shambhoho, the most auspicious Shreem. The Bindu is right in the center. These triangles are separate from the Bindu, Prabhinnabhi, and they form the 9 Avarnas, Navabhirapi, Mula Prakriti. These 9 layers are called as Mula Prakriti. Prakriti is represented as 2 separate kinds of Prakriti or manifestation is indicated as 2 or classified as 2. One is Apara Prakriti, which is that which is manifest as this creation. Second is Para Prakriti, that which is the absolute. So both of this together are the 9 layers. So if you look at it, it starts from the chakras have names. Each of the chakras or each of the avarnas, as we say, avarna is a layer. Each layer has a name. Trailokya Mohana Chakra, the first one. The second one is Sarva Sankshobhana. The second one is Sarvasha Paripuraka. The third one is Sarva Sankshobhana, and so on and so forth. It comes in Sarva Rakshakara Chakra, then Sarva Siddhiprada Chakra, and Sarva Anandamaya Chakra. So it follows, there are names for each chakra, and each chakra has a particular form of Lalita Tripura Sundari presiding that chakra or that avarna or that layer. And as you go in, you're going subtler and subtler. So the way this has to be perceived is essentially from the grossest, you're going towards the subtlest. The same idea that we saw in the Kundalini. In the chakras of the Kundalini, which is the psychic centers in our body, how you go from the grossest, which is the Muladhara, to the Agnya and then Sahasrara. The same way, in the Shri Chakra, you move from the Trailokya Mohana Chakra, which is the outermost, which is the most, the grossest, to the subtlest, which is Sarvanandamaya Chakra. So this whole thing is a journey which is present within us from the most grossest of our being to the subtlest. We spoke the last week, we said, from the most material to the most spiritual. This is our journey, correct? And it's represented in different ways. And Shri Chakra represents the same idea. How this journey is happening within us. The Shri Chakra is when it's presented outside, it's the macrocosm. The whole universe is in that structure created. When you bring it inwards, it's the microcosm or the energies within us. And what the rishis did when they perceived the Shri Chakra, they perceived it as the most auspicious of all chakras, of all yantras. And that's why they named it as Shri. In fact, one Swamiji, one Sri Vidya Guru told me that when you get the right formation of Shri Yantra, when you do the Shri Yantra, suppose you take a piece of paper or you take a canvas and you paint, and when you do that, the moment you finish doing the Shri Yantra properly, instantaneously you draw upon auspicious energy in that space. It creates a field. It creates a field, which is why yantras are very powerful actually. Yantras are very powerful in a way that it can create a force field in the space it is installed. The geometric structure itself has a natural tendency to draw the right energies, right? To draw means to bring, to absorb the right energies. The structure itself has that ability. Now, whether it's the Sri Chakra or the Mahameru, which is the 3D formation, both are similar. The idea is the same. The same thing, either you worship or you um, you do any aradhana in the form of a two-dimensional structure, or you do aradhana in the 3D form, which is a Mahameru. It's the same idea, is that it creates an energy field around it. And this energy field, if we keep doing a regular aradhana, you can expand that energy field in the space that you're living. So anybody who comes into that space will feel some difference, will recognize something is beautiful here. Shrihi means auspiciousness. Shrihi means beauty. Saundarya Lahari. This is Saundarya Lahari, right? Shri means Saundarya, also beautiful. They'll feel something beautiful about the space. And this is caused by this structure that Adi Shankara is describing here. And Adi Shankara did not create the structure. He is merely describing this Sri Chakra, Sri Yantra, which is Devi's abode. This is the Manidvipa. This is the place where Devi lives, in the Bindu, in the center of it. So if you go back to the second or the Manidvipe Nipaha Upavanavati Chinta Manigrihe. So it talks about Devi's abode, right? So imagine the whole abode is the Sri Chakra. And where is the Sri Chakra? As an energy pattern, it's an energy pattern. It is existing within us. All we have to do is resonate with each of these layers. As you resonate with each layer, as you resonate with each avarna, those avarnas open up for you. So, for example, we said there are 9 avarnas and then 7 psychic centers. And if you do a mapping, it's a simple mapping. You map the outermost to Mooladhara, the next one to Swadhisthana, the third one to Manipuraka, and so on and so forth. You go up all the way. Sarvanandamaya Chakra is the Sahasrara. But that is 9, whereas this is 7. So what they say is there are 2 chakras between the Agnya and the Sahasrara. This is Agnya. There is a Trikuti and a Brikuti. 2 other chakras are here, and then you have the Sahasrara. So when you actually, so the whole idea is like this. When you do Aradhana to the Sri Chakra on the outside, visualize you are actually doing Kunkuma Archana to those chakras within you. By doing Kunkuma Archana, what you're doing, you're activating those chakras. You're resonating with those chakras. When you're activating those chakras, what is happening? From the gross, you're moving up slowly, subtler. You're becoming more subtler. You're becoming more, moving more towards the spirit, moving away from the material, moving more towards the spirit. So why are these yantras and these structures are important? Is because we need material on the outside to be able to go inside. Correct? Chuma, if somebody comes and tells Kanna Mudi Nokkarango Abdina, what will you say? Kanna Mudi Etana Okkarad. What do I do? Kanna Mudin Shuma Okkarangana, Cheri Kanna Mudin, now what do I do? Abdin Kelvi Kepo. We'll ask, what do I do now? Because we don't understand this whole idea, or we may understand it intellectually, but it's something that we are unable to put it to practice. So what you do, you make your mind go through a process where it slowly dissolves itself, moves more from the gross to the subtle, to the subtler, to the subtlest. Correct? That is how you move the mind. You don't have the ability to completely shut the mind off. Like we saw in Bhagavad Gita yesterday. Kaschit kshanamapi, not even for a moment can you shut the mind off. The mind will keep doing something. The body will keep doing something. So what you do, since has to anyways, anyways it's got to do something. Do what you want it to do. That is why masters and all of these, even as I said, those who had come with me to Rishikesh, you came to Shivananda ashram. You saw Shivananda, Swami Shivananda was a great realized master, and he had so many disciples under him, who themselves in turn were also realized masters, and then they had disciples. Even then, Shivananda would get up in the morning at 4 a.m. and do his japa, do his aradhana to his Ishta Devata. Krishna was his Ishta Devata. He would do all that. Because the body has to be engaged in activity. Engage it in the activity that's going to give you most benefit. That is why we have, for men, there is introduction of Sandhya Vandanam for those who are having Punal. And for others who are getting Diksha from the Guru, there is some activity they'll give you. Do an Archana, you don't have anything, do Kunkuma Archana. Or you don't have even Kunkuma, maybe you in the kitchen, you'll have rice and turmeric, mix it, do Akshata Archana. Use some material, but bring your mind to a place where you are using that time to engage with that device. Yantra is nothing but a device. It is a device that is going to enable you to become more and more subtle. Connect with your inner self. This is that device. This is yantra. Yantra essentially means that. Yantra, tantra, mantra. These three go together. What is yantra? Yantra is the device. Mantra are the chants to activate the device. And tantra is the method. Tantra is the method. Mantra is what you use as sound forms to activate. The device is yantra, which is the yantra, right? So, this is what he's introducing. Now, the other thing important to note is also, Adi Shankara, even though he is a Sri Vidya Upasaka, there are two forms of Sri Vidya Marga. One is Kaulachara and Samayachara. Kaulachara Marga is very elaborate external methods of worshipping. In fact, the whole Sri Chakra Upasana, if you use the Khadgamala Stotram, for every chakra, there are yoginis, there are devis at every point. Those devis and yoginis names are chanted in the Khadgamala Stotram. Ananga Kusume, Ananga Mekhale, Ananga Madane, Ananga Madanature, Ananga Rekhe, Ananga Vegine, Ananga Ankushe, Ananga Malini, Guptatara Yogini, Sarva Sankshobhana Chakra Swamini. This is the 8-petal lotus, Sarva Sankshobhana Chakra. So each of these names, Ananga Kusume, Ananga Mekhale, then you put this thing, Vibhuti, Kunkumam or Akshada or whatever, right? But then, so the elaborate way is you do this, and for every chakra, you do some Nevedyam, you do Arati, so there's a whole procedure for all the Nava Avarana. There's something called as Nava Avarana Puja, which can go on anywhere between 1.5 hours to 3 hours, depending on how elaborate one does it. You do it on the external, you can do it. But Adi Shankara, being a Vedantin, he internalizes it, which means the Samayachara Marga. In Samayachara, you internalize the whole process. Like Sita Ma, you told the other day, which this thing was there, the shloka. My mother also told me about this. The mantra pushpika, mantra mala, where you do the whole panchadasakshari, you do mentally. Matrika mantra pushpamala or something like that.
Matrika pushpamala.
Matrika pushpamala. The same way, Shiva Manasa Puja. All of these are done mentally. So in the same way, this is the Samayachara Marga, where he is helping us to visualize this whole Sri Chakra as a structure. See, if you're able to visualize the Sri Chakra, let me just bring that up here. I'm sure everybody has seen this, but just to make sure that we are all looking at this, since he is talking about, Adi Shankara is talking about the Sri Chakra, let's look at it. Are you able to see the screen? The Sri Chakra here?
Yes, yes.
So,
Yes, sir.
let me get a simpler one. Yeah, probably this is slightly simpler, right? Open image in a new tab. All right.
Anna, I have one here.
Oh, wow. Lovely. Lovely. Let me just unshare my screen.
Sorry.
And let me do a quick spotlight on your. Oh, beautiful. That is so beautiful indeed. Yeah.
It's carved on wood.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you, so there is this, let me quickly, how do I annotate? I just want to annotate to show. No, I should be able to annotate here, right?
No, it's only on a document.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, so what I'm wanting to show is, look at the center, the bindu and the triangle that's going down. So this is.
Am I holding it the right way?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the so there's one is called the Srishti Krama and the other is called the Samhara Krama. Right? So this is the Srishti Krama, where she is coming down. So mother is coming down when the triangle is down facing. Mother is the innermost triangle. Yeah, the small one. Yeah, with the bindu. It's facing down. So it's mother or divinity coming down. We spoke about in the Kundalini, right? How the Kundalini comes into the spinal column from the top and then resides there and then it climbs up. So here, this is when we propitiate to Devi in this form, it is Devi coming down into the manifestation. From Para Prakriti, she's coming into Apara Prakriti. Right? And then I was telling you where Shiva is holding her hands, that is the rectangle. And then you've got a circle, inner circle. Then you have the 16 petal lotus. Then you have, that's the 16. Then you have the 8 petal lotus. Right? And then you have what is known as the 14 triangles on the outside. Can you just point out to those triangles, Shiva? 1, 2, like that. You just go, those are the 14. Those go 14. And then you have what is called as, inside you have 10 triangles, 10 outer triangles, Bahirdasha and Antardasha, and then 8 triangles, and then the innermost the innermost small triangle, then the bindu. Yeah, correct. So that's the Sri Chakra.
Bahirdashan Chana, it's this one, is it? Anna?
The outer 10. You have to count the outer 10. Correct. And then you have an inner 10.
Outer 14 is
No, 14 kapra, after the 14, there are 2 layers of 10. That is correct.
Or is it this one?
No. What you kept your
this
finger
one.
on, that's the right one. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have an inner 10, and then you have an inner 8. Yeah. That's the inner 10. The next one. No. Yeah, that's the one.
8.
Correct. That's the inner 10. And then you have the 8 inside. Yeah, it'll be a little hard for me to show like this. But you get it. You get it, right? You get the idea. So very beautiful. You're right. Amma also got it there. Correct. Absolutely. So that is the Sri Chakra. That is the Sri Chakra. So the Sri Yantra is the important thing is it the formation itself, as I said, it's called Sri Yantra because it's the formation itself exhibits auspiciousness. So we got to hold it in a with a certain amount of reverence, right? Like for example, we can't use it as a table mat design. We can, but we don't know what the results would be, right? If you put it on a mouse pad, Sri Yantra mouse pad, அப்படின்னு போட்டு நம்ம
அமேசான்ல போட்டுருவோம். அமேசான்ல போட்டுருவோம்.
அமேசான்ல ஆமா இருக்கும், இந்த யாருக்கு தெரியும். Sri Vidyaji has written something. See, in Shankaran Kovil, opposite Gomati Amman Sannidhi, they have imbibed Sri Chakram in the ground and people sit on it. And that's believed whatever we pray for, sitting in that will be fulfilled. That is true. It is really very powerful if we are able to consecrate it in a way. In fact, there's beautiful Arati happening for Varahi Amma. Lovely. In fact, there is in Oregon, a place called Oregon, they have actually, in the US, they have made this huge Sri Chakra on land, man-made Sri Chakra. They created that huge structure on man. And then there is an article I was reading. People who were there, who were doing that thing on the fields, they were creating the structure. They had to stay there for several days and nights to create that because it was a pretty large Sri Chakra, right? And a lot of times they stayed in the Bindu area and they've written testimonies of beautiful experiences that they've had. So the testimonies of these people who've written beautiful experiences. So that is
Joshi Matlium பார்த்தோம் நம்ம இல்லையா?
Joshi Matla, we saw a different kind of a Sri Chakra. It was called
Meru.
It was called Linga Meru. It was a linga, Shivalinga, on which the whole Sri Chakra was consecrated. It was very beautiful. That is Shiva Shakti there.
இது வந்து ருத்ராட்சத்துல பண்ணின மேட்.
Oh, lovely.
இது வந்து கிரி ட்ரேடிங் லாஸ்ட் டைம் போனப்போ I got 2 things. ஒன்னு நர்மதா லிங்கம், அப்புறம் வந்து இந்த மேட். இதுல உட்காரலாம் சொன்னா எனக்கு மனசு கேட்கல உட்கார்றதுக்கு. பட் வாட் they were telling is நீங்க இதுல உட்கார்ந்து நீங்க ஜெபம் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா, which I am not for it. என்கிட்ட மகாபெரிவாளுடைய பாதுகை இருக்கு, பரமாச்சாரியரோட பாதுகை. சோ அதுதான் நான் வந்து I am placing it on this mat. எப்பப்பெல்லாம் எனக்கு வந்து I feel எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் எனர்ஜி வேணும்னா நான் ஜஸ்ட் இப்படி கையில வச்சுட்டு பிரார்த்தனை பண்ணிப்பேன், அவ்வளவுதான். அதான் இந்த ஸ்ரீ சக்கரத்துல உட்காரலாம் அப்படின்னா ஸ்ரீ சக்கரம் மேட்டும் ஒண்ணு பார்த்தேன் நான். இங்க குளோபல் வில்லேஜ்னு சொல்லுவா துபாயில. அங்க நேபாளி ஒரு ஃப்ரம் திபெத்து தெரியல, பெருசா வந்து ஸ்ரீ சக்கரத்தை தகுடு மாதிரி பண்ணி வச்சுட்டான். நான் என்ன சொன்னா உட்கார்ந்துக்கிறதுக்கு I'm going to place it on a table where you can sit அப்படின்னா நல்லா பட் நல்லா பண்ணியிருந்தா.
Yeah, so we've got to be a little, see, generally if you're not too you want to be casual about it, you can be, because you're not trying to get somewhere. But if you're trying to get somewhere in life, you are on the spiritual path, you are doing sadhana, you are doing certain prayers and certain forms of worship, then it is important to be a little watchful on these things, because these energies can do things that it'll put you off track. That is all.
காஞ்சிபுரத்துல காமாட்சி கோவில் சந்நிதிக்கு எதிர இந்த
ஆமா
சங்கராச்சாரியர்களால பண்ணினான்னு சொன்னால ஸ்ரீ சக்கரம்
ஆமா ஆமா ஆமா.
கல்லுலயே பண்ணி
காமாட்சி கோவில்ல he is right in front of Kamachi. In the கருங்கல்ல வந்து ஆதிசங்கரா has created the Sri Chakra, and that is where he's got the energies of Kamachi installed into that Sri Chakra. So
ஆக்சுவலி காஞ்சி காமாட்சி வந்து மாங்காடுல இருந்து தான் போயிருக்கா. சோ மாங்காடுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா அர்த்தமேரு இருக்கும், பாதி தான் இருக்கும், பாதி காஞ்சியில இருக்கு.
ஓகே.
இஃப் யூ கோ, நீங்க மாங்காடுல போயிட்டு காமாட்சி பாத்தீங்கன்னா காமாட்சிக்கு முன்னாடி யூ கேன் see the half மேரு, அர்த்தமேரு.
இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்.
ஏன்னா பாதி மேரு அங்க போயிடுது.
புரியுது.
அப்படி வந்து அந்த மாதிரி போய் சொல்லுவா. ஆக்சுவலி வந்து காமாட்சி இங்கதான் இருந்தா. அப்புறம் ரொம்ப மாங்காடுல வந்து ரொம்ப ஹீட் கிரியேட் பண்ணியிருந்தா.
ஆமா, ருத்ர ரூபத்துல இருந்தா. கரெக்ட் கரெக்ட்.
அங்க போனோடனே அப்புறம் சாந்தி படுத்தி இங்க கோவில் எழுப்பி எல்லாம் நடந்தது. எங்க மாங்காடு பக்கத்துலயும் வரும்.
அப்படியா? வெரி நைஸ், பியூட்டிஃபுல்மா. இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப அழகா வாராகி அம்மா தரிசனமாச்சு.
எனக்கும் ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். continue to be here.
வாங்க வாங்க வாங்க. ஓம் காயேன வாசா மனசேந்திரியேர்வா புத்தியாத்மனா வா பிரகிருதே ஸ்வபாவாத் கரோமி யத்யத் சகலம் பரஸ்மை நாராயணாயேதி சமர்ப்பயாமி, சதாசிவாயேதி சமர்ப்பயாமி, ஜெகதம்பிகாயை இதி சமர்ப்பயாமி, சத்குருநாதாயேதி சமர்ப்பயாமி. ஹரி ஓம் தத்சத்குருப்யோ நமः. குருதேவா.